Welcome to this YouTube channel, sharing every Monday and every Thursday. My name is Rham, and welcome to this class. We are going to start today straight up with our mats against the wall. So getting that set up, gathering all the yoga equipment that you might need, and let's come and meet on the mat. Here we are. We're going to start straight into our first asana, Ardha Virasana, with our hands against the wall, remembering to turn the hands open so the thumb and the index finger are connecting with the wall. And this is really helping us to turn the eyes of our elbows forward because they love to roll in. So when we turn the hands open, we have better access to rolling the upper arms away from each other, which broadens the shoulders and which turns the eyes of the elbows forward. So making that imprint right from the start. Ujjayi, one breath. And entering with the exhalation, checking that the eyes of the elbows don't turn back in. Long, soft, smooth inhalations and long, soft, smooth exhalations. Feeling ourselves from inside, observing with the eyes, the outer body, engaging that which needs to be engaged, tightened, lifted, lengthened. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. Going with the breath to penetrate. Relaxing the face completely. Lifting the toes up and trying to spread the toes apart, feeling the ball of the foot, the right ball of the foot, the left ball of the foot, pressing down, densifying. As we press down, finding that anti-gravitational lift that helps us to peak the sit bones higher and higher to the sky, lifting upwards. And now walking the feet forward and finding Utktasana with our backs against the wall. So feet are spread the width of the mat. Nice and parallel. Walking in as best as we can. And when we're finally at that spot where the wall is holding the back, the chin is close to the throat, take the fingertips off the floor and hold on to the elbows. Hanging Uttanasana. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, pacifying exhalations. Feeling our feet first, noticing that tendency that we all have to feel one side more than the other, to have one side be stronger, one side be passive. Feeling that tendency in us through our feet first, and trying to even and equalize the density, the sensation, the awareness of the feet as they press down, as they broaden, as they lift. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. Building up from that through the ankles, up to the knees, up through the femur bones, all the way to the heads of the femur bones, which we're sucking into the hips, that lifting action, the buttocks flying up to the sky. And now make the fingers on your elbows firm and pull the elbow tips down to the ground. Keep pulling, breathing. Visualize what it would look like to see the actual skin fibers stretching, one by one, more space between all of them. And then releasing the elbows, bending the knees, and slowly emerging. Turning around, Ardha Virasana, with our heels lifted and the backs of the heels pressing against the wall. Remembering to turn the eyes of the elbows forward, even though our hands are no longer turned open. And lifting up, pressing the back heels to the wall. And when we're ready, exhaling into the pose. Feeling the heels, the right heel, the left heel. Creating as much as possible an even density as the heels push back to the wall simultaneously. And this simultaneous action of the heels pressing back encourages both front shins to also press back, both knees to tighten, both front thighs to press back. Feeling how the sit bones lift, how the buttocks lighten up to the sky with this action of strength and density from the front leg. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. Checking on the shoulders, the arms, the eyes of the elbows, are they still turning forward? Relaxing the brain completely. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. And then releasing and coming back down. Taking a block, Madhyasana 3, against the wall and on the block. So I have several blocks. On this one I'm going to use a higher one. It's just nice to have that lift. Placing it arm's distance away from the wall. This is my timer. Make sure that we're doing nice, long, significant holds today. Right knee bent, left leg extended diagonally out to the side. Take a moment to widen the buttocks apart. Preparing, we're going to the right, towards the bent leg. Inhale, exhale. This is where you see if you're too close or too far. Adjust as needed. And then inhale the left arm up and exhale across, finding the outside edge of that thigh. Madhyasana 3. Establish the evenness of breath first. And then travel to the left leg, the left heel, pressing it down. Grip the muscles of the left thigh around the left femur bone and press them down. Feel the sharpness of the left sit bone on the block, as even and as sharp as the right sit bone. Try to turn the head more and more to the right. See how the trunk will follow the eyes, will follow the direction there. See if you can walk that hand. And then exhale and releasing and changing sides. Left knee bent, right leg extended. Take a moment to widen the sit bones apart. Turning to the left, placing the left hand. Inhale the right arm up and exhale across. And entering Madhyasana 3. Establish first the evenness of Ujjayi 1 breath. Soft, smooth inhalations. Soft, smooth exhalations. And then travel to the right leg, the straight leg, and press that heel down firmly. Grip the muscles around the femur bone and press the front thigh down. And see how that helps the right buttock bone keep its density so it doesn't lift up to accommodate twisting to the left. It's pressing down. As we turn and twist, turning the head, turning the eyes, so that the trunk will follow the direction of the eyes, Seeing if we can walk that left hand back on the wall a little bit more. Soft, smooth inhales, soft, smooth exhales. And then releasing and coming out. Taking a strap now, coming for some arm balances. Oops, it's not that full, there we go. Against the wall. So the strap is a nice way to give an extra lift and compactness in the arms so that we can then bring that to the pose without the strap. We want to make the loop not as wide as a Sarvangasana Halasana loop. You can kind of test it out. I already know that when I go up this will be a little bit too large for me because my hands will actually be a little closer together. So I'm making it a little bit smaller. That should be right, just right. Okay, and we're coming in. Spreading all the fingers widely apart. Our hands are becoming our feet now. So giving them that same attention. Turning the eyes of the elbows forward to the wall in front. Straightening the legs. And preparing to lift. So we're going to first lift the left leg up and use the right leg to do the hopping. The left leg needs to stay lifted the whole time. Don't let it come down at all. Keep it lifted. We'll hop 3 times and then come up. Here we go. So hopping. The action is all from the right leg that's doing the hopping. And now let's lift up and find the wall. And here we are. Find that even breath. The breath may change, it may not be as long, but keep the cycles even. Feeling the hands. Do you feel that you're pressing down into one hand more than the other? Try to even that out. And as you press down, try to lift up so that a lightness comes to the pose. Keep pressing down in order to lift up. Feel the heels getting higher and higher up the wall. Spread all 10 toes. Press down to lift up. And 2. And 1. Slowly, gently coming down. Taking the strap off. And coming to Utktasana with the feet together. Dropping the head down. Gripping the knees and the thighs up. Relax the neck, the face completely. And then hold on to the backs of the heels and tug yourselves forward. And releasing. Okay, coming up, hopping with the other leg. So getting our straps back on. Here we go. Spreading the fingers widely apart. Checking that the eyes of the elbows are facing forward. Straightening our legs. So this time the right leg is lifting, nice and high. And the left leg is doing the hopping. So 3 hops. To check that as we hop, we're keeping that right leg lifted. We're really hopping from the left leg. Okay, and now we're going to lift up to the full pose. Line the inner feet up together carefully and pull the outer skirting of the feet back towards the ground. So you're pushing up through the inner foot and pulling down through the outer foot. Squeeze the outer thighs towards each other and squeeze the outer hips towards each other so that a oneness is felt. Now connecting with the hands again, let's re-explore that pushing down to pump up. So press down and pump up through the oneness of the legs. That's it, get taller. Lift up. Check in with the breath. Keep pumping down to lift up. And lifting up. One more time and lifting up. And exhaling and releasing. And feet together, Uttanasana. Exhaling. Grip the knees, grip the thighs upwards, press down into the feet. And now hands to the heels and pull yourselves closer. And exhaling and releasing. Coming back to our block, Madhyasana 3, using the block and using the wall. Right knee bent, left leg, and we move this out to the side, left leg diagonally out to the side. Widen the sit bones apart. Make sure this foot is facing straight forward, turning to the right. Inhale the left arm up, exhale across and press the arm against the outer thigh. Now turn your head to look at your knee and your arm. If your knee is doing this, your arm is dominating. And if your knee is doing this, your leg is dominating. So equaling out the energy there, so they're both pressing against each other with mutual force, and things stay right in the center from that axis beginning to turn and twist. Ujjayi, one breath. And the exhale becoming crucial to enhance the twistiness, to help the skin fibers turn and roll to the right, the fat, the muscles, the fascia, reaching the organs, making them spongy, soft, and turning them with the exhale to the right, over and over again. And then releasing and changing sides. Left knee bent, right leg extended. Sit bones widened each time, turning to the left. Inhaling the right arm up and exhaling across. Making sure that foot is facing forward and making sure that the pressure between the arm and the leg is mutual and consistent, staying steady in that central zone as we begin to turn and twist. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. Let the direction of each exhale coax the entire body from the outside to the innermost corner to roll and turn to the left over and over again. And then exhaling and releasing. Okay, keeping the block and coming back to our strap, Pincha Mayurasana against the wall. Right above the elbows. A little bit of a twist here, there we go. Making an L shape with the hands, the thumb and the fingers. And we've got that timer here so I can see our timing. Lock right into the wall. Press down into the forearms, the whole length of the forearms, not just the elbow area, but right up to the wrist area too. Let there be firmness. Shoulders broad. Straighten the legs. Again, this idea of hopping, so the lifted leg stays lifted and it's the right leg that's doing the hopping. So we're doing 3 hops. 3, 2, keep the left leg lifted. 1. And on this next one, coming all the way up. Lining the inner feet up. Keep pressing down into the forearms, evenly and equally, lifting the head up. And as we press down, how can we get that anti-gravitational liftingness, rising up, the heels firm, keep pressing down to lift up, press the back ribs in. And 3, and 2, and 1. Coming down, and releasing. Utktasana, feet together. Broaden the shoulders, relax the neck, the cervical spine long. The brain cool and quiet. And then coming back down for our other side, Pincha Virasana. So strap back on. If something wasn't comfortable, try going wider, try going smaller, adjusting, playing, staying curious with your equipment. Bringing the hands in, connecting the forearms down, feeling the shoulders broaden. Straighten the legs. Lifting the right leg, hopping with the left. 3 and 2. Keep charging the right leg. And 1. And now lifting all the way up. Lining the inner feet up. Climbing the heels higher and higher. Densify the forearms evenly and equally. And press down to lift up. Press down to lift up more and more. Find your back ribs, your shoulder blades up. Nudge them in. Keep nudging them in forward. Feel the chest opening, the ribs opening. Charge the legs. Climb the heels higher. And 3 and 2 and 1. Coming down. Straps off the arms. Uttanasana, feet together. Gripping the knees up, gripping the thighs up, the buttocks rising to the sky. Helps us to come forward even more with abandon, with softness in the face, quietness in the brain. Soft, smooth inhalation. Soft, smooth exhalation. And then exhale and releasing and coming down. Okay, it's now time for Sirsasana, headstand. So gather whatever you like to use for that, and let's come back and meet on the mat. And here we are. So coming down, hands on the shoulders, elbows in line with the shoulders, making sure that we're not widening our elbows more than our shoulder width. Forearms down, interlocking the fingers, and pressing the thumbs together. Bringing the crown of the head to the floor, the hands holding the back of the skull. Lift the trapezius muscles now and feel the upper back become alert. Press into the forearms, establish evenness, presence in both forearms, and then turning the toes under, straightening the legs. Walking the feet in, keep lifting the trapezius muscles, engaging the upper back. And now lifting to Sirsasana 1. Keep pressing the forearms down, lifting the trapezius muscles up. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. The middle buttocks going forward, the front thighs going back. And the lower buttocks moving towards the heels. So imagine that your heels were pressing against a wall. Now extra press that right heel against the imaginary wall and pull the right buttock towards it. Feel that new firmness, new usage, new connection. And now do the same to the left. Press the heel against an imaginary wall and link the left buttock to the left heel. And keeping those areas of the buttocks linked to the heel,
Repress the middle buttock forward and the front thighs back. Feel a union between the feet. Feel the union between the inner knees, between the inner thighs. Those spaces coming together. And now travel to the outside edges of the legs and squeeze the entire length of the outer legs towards each other to help that inner space become even more present, more connected. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. Relax the knuckles of the fingers. Keep the outer edges of the hands firm. And as we press down into the forearms, find that anti-gravitational lift, that rising up through the legs, the soles of the feet reaching for the sky. Keep lifting and reaching up. Just a few more breath cycles. And preparing to come down. And exhaling and releasing. Resting here, Yoga Mudrasana. The palms facing each other, the eyes of the elbows turning and facing the sky. And coming back up. And we're going into our second Sirsasana. We're going to change the interlock of the fingers. So we all have a favorite interlock. This is mine, where the right index goes underneath the left. So on the second side, we're going to do our least favorite interlock and just connect our synapses in different ways so we keep that intelligence expanding into new spheres. Okay, preparing, coming to our mats, lining our elbows up, changing the interlock, thumbs pressed together, and crown of the head to the floor. Feel already the difference. Lift the shoulder blades up, get stability from the upper back. Turn the toes under and walk the feet in. Keep pressing the forearms down, lifting the trapezius muscles up. And when you're ready, coming to Sirsasana 1. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. Charge the feet, spread the toes. Tighten the knees. Keep lifting the trapezius muscles up. The upper back engaged. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. Feeling the connection of the inner feet, lining them up.
and the inner knees as well. The inner thighs. And then traveling to the outer legs, the outer thighs, the outer knees, the outer calves. And sucking the outer legs in towards each other to intensify that connection with the inner recesses. And at the same time, lengthen the legs and push the soles of the feet up to the sky. Keeping all of that, checking with the middle buttocks, and move the middle buttocks forward as you move the front thighs back. Keep lengthening and pushing the soles of the feet up to the sky. And then connecting each heel to its respective buttock. One at a time. Soft, smooth inhalations. Soft, smooth exhalations. Feel the vibrancy of the legs. And as we press down into the forearms, let the leg vibrancy help you to lift up away from that possible compression. Lifting up, rising up. Relax the knuckles of the hand from over gripping. Keep pressing the outer edge of the hands down, the forearms down, lifting the trapezius muscles up, charging the legs up to the sky, reaching up, the legs becoming one in that liftingness. And preparing to come down. As we come down, keep the trapezius muscles lifting up. Keep the jaw soft, the face soft, the legs charged. And coming down, the Yoga Mudrasana, in Vajrasana, with the palms facing each other so that the eyes of the elbows can be turned up to the sky. Soft, smooth inhalation, soft, smooth exhalation. And now coming to Halasana, spreading the feet to the width of the mat, nice and parallel. Placing the hands underneath the feet. Gripping the inner knees all the way up to the inner groins and keeping them lifted as we look up, pulling ourselves up, grip the inner legs, and then exhale, Utktasana. Once you've given yourself a good tug, make sure that you're not hunching the shoulders up to the ears. Move the trapezius muscles down the back, away from the ground, away from the ears, so that the sides of the neck hang long, that they're free. Keep gripping the inner knees up to the inner groins. Soft, smooth inhalation. Soft, smooth exhalation. And then releasing the hands. And slowly coming out. Okay, so let's move ourselves away from the wall now and come for Ardha Virasana cycles, 90, 60, 30.
So here we are, remembering that if you tend to have a fragile lower back, I would encourage you to use a blanket in this pose until you're absolutely sure that you can keep the lower back connected to the mat. So I'll show you how to do it in case you're unsure about location, and then I'll move it. So we're lying down. Those who need a blanket, we'll put it right there so you can keep the whole lower back area really pressing down. And remove it. Bending the knees, lining the inner feet up, lining the inner knees up. Much more sensitivity in these areas since we looked at them in Sirsasana. Keeping those alignments. Bring the arms up, cross the thumbs and stretch the arms back. Feel the armpits opening. Lower back pressing to the floor, feet off. Inhale and exhale, push the legs straight up to the sky. Ardha Virasana, 90 degrees. Having the same charge in the legs as in our Sirsasana. So line the inner feet up, the inner ankles, the inner knees, the inner thighs, and squeeze the outer calves, the outer knees, the outer thighs towards each other. As you push those feet up, get a whole new level of engagement. The lower back consistently pressing to the floor. And now bending the knees and coming to 60 degrees, diagonally pushing away from us with the exhale. Press the lower back to the floor. A little bit more challenging now. Keep squeezing the outer thighs towards each other and bolt the outer hips towards each other. This helps bring more firmness to the lower back and ability to connect there. And suck the abdominal fibers down towards the lower back. Re-stretch your arms, and 3, and 2, and 1. Bend the knees. Coming for our hardest one now, 30 degrees. Inhale, exhale, push. Going as low as we can without lifting the lower back off the floor. Squeeze the outer legs towards each other. Bolt the outer hips towards each other. Suck the abdominal fibers down, press the lower back to the floor, keep pushing out through those legs. And 3, stretch those fingers, and 2, and 1. Bend the knees in, and exhale, and releasing. Eka Supta Padangthasanas. Interlocking the fingers around the fronts of the knees, rolling the front shoulders back. And with an exhalation, completely pacify the abdomen area so that it's just pooling down and melting on the lower back. Feeling the connection even here between our inner feet, our inner knees. Soft, smooth inhalations. Soft, smooth exhalations. And then exhaling, releasing the feet to the floor. Okay, rolling up. Coming to Paripurna Navasana. So let me just move this stuff out to the side. Okay, starting from Dandasana. Front shoulders rolling back, the sternum plate broadening. Bending the knees in towards us, walking the hands back. On the fingertips, we're light, elbows towards each other to keep the sternum plate broad. Feet off. Push the legs, charge, create that same Sirsasana action, and now lift the arms and hold. Palms facing each other. Eyes of the elbows turning up to the sky. Keep pushing out through the balls of the feet. The breath will change, that's normal. Be faster, just keep it even. Keep the muscles wrapped around the bones, sharpness, chest lifting, and 3, and 2,
and 1. Arms back. Bend the legs. Extend. Widen the sit bones apart. And be in Dandasana. Soft, smooth inhalation. Soft, smooth exhalation. Ready for Ardha Virasana. Bringing the hands behind the back of the skull, elbows open. Coming down, rounding. Sucking the abdominal fibers down and lifting the legs. Keep pushing out through the feet. Elbows back. And 5. And 4. 3. And 2. And 1. Back up. Hands down, widen the buttocks apart. And find Dandasana. Soft, smooth inhalation. Soft, smooth exhalation. The chest opening. And exhale. And releasing. Coming now to our hips a little bit before we move into some light back bend work. So double pigeon, placing the left leg, the shin parallel to the front of the mat, moving this foot right over. And now placing the right foot, going as high as we can go, taking blankets if needed along this outer right thigh, pushing through the balls of the feet. Inhale. And exhale. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, pacifying exhalations as we lengthen the arms and walk the fingertips forward. And then walking the fingertips back out and changing sides. Right shin parallel to the front of the mat. Left foot as high as we can go towards being right on the inner knee. Pushing through the balls of the feet, taking support if needed underneath the outer thigh. And exhaling forward. Keep stretching those arms. The moment they bend a little bit, it means you've got some room to walk the fingertips forward. And then bringing the fingertips back in and releasing. Coming to Utktasana. So if when you're crouching here, it's really hard to press the heels down, take a blanket to just help the ground come to your heels so that you can experience density in the heels. We're starting in Utktasana 2, which is this crouching pose action here. Stretch the arms up, densify the heels, press them down, lift the arms higher. And now coming to Utktasana 1. And now let's try to move the shins back and lift the arms higher and really press the inner knees against each other as you lift the arms up higher. Press the inner knees against each other, lift the arms up higher, press the inner knees against each other, and 3, and 2, and 1, coming back down to Utktasana 2. And then releasing, fingertips, hands onto the mat in front of you, and coming to the knees, and onto the tops of the feet. Usturasana. Widen the knees apart. Widen the feet apart so that the calves and the feet are parallel. Hands on the back hips. Elbows back. Start making that shape, pressing it into beingness here. Front shoulders back. With your hands, rub your back ribs and then place the hands back on the hips and press those back ribs forward. Okay, we're going to come in. Inhale, exhale, and simultaneously reach the hands back and find the feet. Relax the face, the eyeballs. Find an even breath. Push the middle buttocks forward, over and over again, pumping them forward. And then coming back up, and exhale, and releasing, coming to Vajrasana. Sit bones widened, Utktasana in Vajrasana. Stretch the arms forward, interlock the fingers, turn the palms out, the tips of the thumbs touching. Inhale and lift. Looking for length and stability in the lower back. So to get the stability in the lower back, draw the navel backwards and then lift the arms and feel that length coming to the waist, to the armpits, and 2, and 1. Bringing the arms down in front. Releasing and changing the interlock. Turning the palms out, tips of the thumbs touching. And ready, lifting. Press the front thighs down. Stabilize the lower back by drawing the belly button back. Now lift the arms up, push those hands up to the sky. And feel that length coming to the right waist, the left waist, the right armpit, the left armpit. Go into that. And 2. And 1. Bring the arms back down. And exhale. And releasing. Soft, smooth inhalation. Soft, smooth exhalation. Re-neutralize the face. Good. Virasana. Widening the feet apart. With our hands reaching for the calves, pulling back and out and coming to sit on the mat. If it's too much and you know that already, take blocks, sit on a block. Take a bolster, sit on a bolster. We're going to be coming to Supta Padangthasanas. So we want to take our strap and put it around our legs so that the knees don't start to spread apart from each other. And we keep the opening really running down the front line. Remembering that our front thighs are in cahoots with our lower back. The tighter your front thighs are, the more fragility there will be in the lower back with time. And also in this pose, there will be the tendency for the lower back to arch so that your front thighs don't have to feel as much pain. So you need to keep an eye on that little relationship going on as we come down. Stopping at the elbows to lift the buttocks and to move the buttocks forward. The anal mouth wants to face forward, not the mat. Coming down to supports or the mat. Soft, smooth inhalation. Hands on the front thighs. Soft, smooth exhalation. Pushing the front thighs towards the thigh bones. Reminding the work right here to be clear and continual. Checking in with our pelvic tilt. Could we move the buttocks more towards the front of the mat to really ensure that the anal mouth is facing forward? And then with the hands on the lower abdomen and the belly button, suck in and up, gently in and up, And you'll feel the ribs here broadening as the abdomen descends to the lower back. So stability in the lower back through this action, which in turn brings the broadness to the ribs, and particularly the side ribs, the pranayamic gills. Now, if you're on a bolster, you're going to hold your elbows so your forearms are still supported on the bolster. And if you're on the floor, you're going to stretch the arms by crossing the thumbs. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. The breath length tends to increase in this pose. Go with that, so you'll have a different cycle, a longer cycle, but just make sure to keep the inhale and the exhale the same, even, that smoothness. And as you become more comfortable with that smoothness, start to also look at the spaces between the end of the inhalation and the beginning of the exhalation, that little gap, and then the space between the end of the exhalation and the beginning of the inhalation, that little gap. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, pacifying exhalations. And now we're going to change the cross of our elbows or change the cross of our thumbs like I am. And coming down again, Supta Virasana, Ujjayi, one breath. Check that connection between the abdominal area, the navel, and the lower back is intact. In other words, check that your organs haven't started dropping towards the pubic bone, lifting up and dropping, and that the belly button hasn't lifted away from that internal buttoning of the lower back and the abdominal area, which keeps that firmness in place and allows us to better bring access and freedom to this whole area. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, pacifying exhalations. The front thigh still pressing down. Check on the elbows. If we forget about them for too long, they start to bend and we lose that lift that the arms bring to this very little sweet spot underneath the armpit, right here. So keep straightening the elbows and stretching the arms, or pulling the elbow tips back to bring more and more access to those secret little zones. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. And then gently releasing the arms, and we're going to make our way back up. As we come up, really keep the connection of the belly button to the lower back. And when we come up to sitting zone, just lift the buttocks and allow them to release back again. We're going to widen our knees apart and come forward to Yoga Mudrasana. And as we come forward, it's nice to put the fingertips right here on the front groin and make as if the fingertips were being sucked into that front groin. So we're deepening the front groin. It's moving with its depth back and out through the buttocks as we come forward to Yoga Mudrasana.
then walking the hands back out and coming out of the pose and straps off. Coming now to the back of our mats. Eka Pada, Paschimottanasana. So bringing the left leg into Virasana, making sure to move the calf back and out, pulling the foot right in, so we're on the front of the foot, widening the sit bones apart. Now if you're feeling a big imbalance here, you're feeling you're sitting to the right, definitely take a blanket and put it underneath the right buttock. Right heel firm. Inhale the arms up and exhaling forward. As the elbows bend, make sure to not let them droop towards the earth. So keeping them lifted is going to help us to keep the shoulders broad and the back muscles broad. They'll follow the broadness of the elbows. And then coming back up and changing sides. So right leg into Virasana, making sure to move the calf well out to the side and be right on the top of the foot. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling forward. Paying attention to the breadth of our shoulders, not allowing them to come in and hunch around the neck and the ears. And paying attention, of course, to the elbows, so that the back can flow with broadness following the direction of the elbows. And then coming back up and releasing. Changing sides again, calmness. Moving the calf back and out. Bending the right leg, interlocking our fingers, taking hold of the foot and finding calmness. In this pose we can really feel the impact of our hands pulling the foot and thus the entire leg towards us. So it deepens the connection of the femur bone, plugging into that hip socket. Gita says, pound the head of the femur bone into the hip socket. Strong words. So go with that now for a few breaths. Really pounding the head of the femur bone in. And then releasing and changing sides. Right leg into Virasana, Utktasana. Pulling the calf back and out. Left leg. Interlocking and entering Utktasana. Feeling the hands on the foot and their action, that as they pull the foot towards you, that reverberates down the length of the entire leg into the head of the femur bone, which is being pounded into the hip socket over and over again, making that connection. exhale and releasing. Okay, taking the strap, continuing with this theme of Ardha Supta Virasana, coming to the front of the mat, left leg into Virasana, coming down onto our elbows, tilting the pelvis, and coming down onto the mat. Supta Padangthasanas. So the little loop that we had in our straps, we're just going to make it even smaller. So it's a little loop, and we're putting that on our right foot. And sliding our hands down the strap. Supta Padangthasanas in Ardha Supta Virasana. Ironing both front thighs to the thigh bones. The belly button moving towards the lower back. And the arms stretching so that the waists, the pranayamic gills, are getting more and more spaciousness, breath, and intimacy. We're dialoguing with them. We're getting to know that area so that we can better access it. So the source of movement includes that knowledge. And then exhale and releasing and coming up in order to change sides. So right leg into Virasana, moving the strap across to the left. And lying down, tilting the pelvis on our way down. Little loop on the left foot. Arms sliding down. Settling into even, smooth breath. Iron the front thighs to the femur bones, continually. Stretch the arms, stretch the waist, and try to explore with each part of the breath cycle that intimate, secret area, the pranayamic gills. How can we get access there, sensation there? Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. And then exhaling and releasing, coming up. And letting go. Beautiful. Utktasana. Widening the sit bones apart. Heels firm. Feel the spaces between the inner feet, inner ankles, the inner knees, the inner thighs. Whilst the sit bones are wide, bring the outer thighs towards each other, the outer calves towards each other. Feel the oneness of the legs. Cross the thumbs. Inhale the arms up. And exhaling forward. Move the trapezius muscles down, away from the ears. Keep the grip on the legs and try to move the rib cage forward on the thighs, towards the knees. And then when we're ready, exhale the head down, being in Utktasana, Ujjayi, one breath. Keep pressing the front thighs
down towards the thigh bones. And if the elbows are bending, remember to lift them, to not let them droop to the ground, and broaden them so the back muscles are going to follow that broadness. And then coming back up and releasing. And it's now time for Sarvangasana Halasana Cycle. So let's go take our blankets, or maybe you're doing a chair Sarvangasana, basically gathering everything that you're going to need, and let's meet back on the mat. So the first thing we need to do is to widen the loop on our strap and just check that's going to be right for you, so that once we're in Halasana we can have our hands behind the back and put the strap on the arms. It's often for many of us the most unpleasant bit to get that strap on. It was for me for years, but it really does ensure that the arms behind the back don't widen, which closes the shoulders, keeps them parallel so we can really work the shoulders open from a parallel base, free of distortion. Okay, so when we're ready, coming in, and checking everything, as if you were a beginner each time. It's amazing how little bad habits just creep in, so we have to stay alert to tendencies and correct the moment, de-weed, you could say, very much like a garden. Okay, lifting up, rolling the shoulders back, and it's time to get those straps on our arms. And once they're on, straighten the arms, interlock the fingers, press the tops of the thumbs together. And now we're going to lift each shoulder up. So I'm going to lift my left one first because that's the one closest to the screen. So the weight goes to the right. I lift the left shoulder up. I roll the front of the shoulder back. And I tuck that shoulder blade in. Distinct difference. Now we're going to the other side. So the weight moves to the left, rolling the front of the other shoulder back, tucking the shoulder blade in. And now I feel set. Releasing the hands at this point and placing the hands on the back. And when we're ready, entering Sarvangasana. Feeling the connection of the inner feet, the inner ankles, the inner heels, the inner knees, the inner thighs. Relax the teeth and the gums around the teeth. The mouth is an area that loves to get tense in Sarvangasana, so keep relaxing everything inside the mouth and the root of the tongue. Charging the legs, spreading all 10 toes. The breath, of course, changes in every pose, so taking the time to connect with Ujjayi one breath in this pose. The rhythm may have changed, accessibility may have changed, just coming back into new rhythm. Now we're going to spread the feet apart, the width of an imaginary yoga mat. So spread the feet apart. And with the feet spread, we're really going to be able to adjust the pelvic area. So we're going to imagine that our heels are pressing on an imaginary wall. Lots of imagining going on. And now extra press the right heel and connect the right buttock to the right heel. And now extra press the left heel and connect the left buttock to the left heel. Beautiful. Now press the middle buttock forward and the front thighs back. Charge the legs up. The legs should be burning. Working completely. Nothing passive about them. They're lifting up, lifting up, lifting up. And now keep those actions and bring the feet together. And it gets harder to integrate the middle buttock forward when the feet come closer. So keep pressing the middle buttock forward, the front thighs back. Now see if you can get your hands higher up the back. Now keeping the left leg fixed where it is, slowly lowering the right leg to the ground. Keeping the muscles gripped around both of the leg bones as you bring that right leg down. Ironing the front thighs towards the femur bones, over and over again. And back up with control, with witnessing in place to find Sarvangasana. And now fixing the right heel where it is, slowly lowering the left leg down. Eka Pada Sarvangasana. Continually ironing the thigh muscles to the femur bones. Don't let that lifted right leg roll open. Keep rolling the thigh in as you press the thigh muscle to the femur bone. And preparing to come back up to Sarvangasana. Slowly watching the movement. And finding Sarvangasana. Now release the hands from the back and find Sarvangasana 2. Stretch the arms straight. Charge the arms. Press them down in order to lift up. Squeeze the outside edges of the calves towards each other, the outer thighs towards each other. Bolt the outer hips together, charge upwards. And then hands back to the back. Sarvangasana 1. Preparing to come to Halasana. And as the legs come down, iron the front thighs to the thigh bones. Keep the inner length of the legs connecting with each other. Once the feet have reached the floor, take the strap off the arms and stretch the arms back so that the fingertips are reaching for the feet. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. Repacify the face completely. Keep the backs of the hands vibrant. And lifting the legs back up, finding Niralamba Sarvangasana. And then we're going to lift the arms up, Niralamba 2. Front thighs ironing to the thigh bones. Arms back down and legs back down with control. And then bringing the hands behind the back, interlocking the fingers, stretching the arms straight. Halasana. Roll each front shoulder back. Activize the feet to help activize the legs. Keep the arms densified. The moment the arms get light and lift off, you've unconsciously started to roll the front shoulders back in and lose the energy that we're looking for in that area. So keep pressing the arms down, rolling the front shoulders back, and feeling the back armpit move to the front armpit. The back armpit to the front armpit. Simultaneously, the chin coming towards the chest. The forehead smooth and clear. Soft, smooth inhalations. Soft, smooth exhalations. Now we're going to invert the hands. First of all, we turn the hands, with the palms of the hands move up to the sky and then push away from us. Feel the line of energy running down the length of the entire arms, through the elbows, through the wrists, and out through the heels of the hands. And now we're going to turn the hands back in, still the same interlock, inverting the hands the other way now. So we turn the hands to the earth and we push the hands away from us. One side is always more difficult than the other, depending on the tightness and structure of our vehicle. This underside is harder for me, and always has been. Keep extending away out through the length of the arm. Even if your arm is unable to get straight, visualize that length and straightness coming, that fluidity of straightness pushing out through the heel of the hand. And then turning the hands back in, and we're going to change the interlock of our fingers. So for the second side of our Halasana, changing the interlock, stretching the arms straight, Halasana. Take the time to re-roll each front shoulder back and further penetrate into our access of the upper back, the shoulder blades, the ribs. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. The feet are actively pushing the front thighs right in front of you, are not hanging down towards you. Push them up to the thigh bone over and over again. And densify the arms towards the blankets, towards the earth, so that as they press down, you can find that anti-gravitational lift. The back ribs pressing in and up, the front thighs pressing up as the arms press down, linking those two energies. Keep encouraging the front shoulders to roll back so that the back armpit is coming to the front armpit and not the other way around. The back armpit is moving up through the space of the armpit to the front armpit. The chin is coming towards the chest, the front throat is soft, and the forehead is smooth. The eyes releasing backwards from that external ocular tension. And now inverting the hands, the palms first going up to the sky and inverting from that direction. Streaming the exhalation down the length of both of the arms and out through the heels of the hands. And now turning the hands back in. And now we're going to invert the hands the other way, down towards the ground and to the wall. Try to inhabit the length of both of your arms with the stream of the exhalation. And then turning the hands back in, releasing the interlock, bending the knees towards the forehead. When they reach the forehead, move the inner right knee to the outer right ear and the inner left knee to the outer left ear and come onto the tops of the feet. Ardha Virasana. Wrap the arms around the backs of the knees and hold on to your elbows. Soft, smooth inhalation. Soft, pacifying exhalations. Try to discover where you're still creating tension, where there's resistance, where there's holding on, and see if you can access those areas with softness. Encouraging them to let go, to see what happens when they let go. How does the movement change? How does the sensation change? How does the breath change? And now we're going to change the cross of the elbows and settle back into Utktasana. Closing the eyes on the second half. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. And with the eyes closed, see if you can ignite your inner seeingness, your inner eyes, your inner drishti even more. A different way of seeing, but really sensitive way of seeing the inside of the pose. As we practice releasing those areas that are still holding on, congested, fearful in some way. And then releasing the elbows and preparing to gently roll out one vertebrae at a time. The moment we can, connect our inner knees together, our inner feet together. Those lines that we've become intimate with today, those new spaces, as we move back. Rolling our shoulders back, trapezius muscles down the back, extending the arms diagonally away. And now keeping the inner knees together, but just widening the feet apart. And with the next exhalation, completely relax the abdomen, letting go of any of its puffing, anything holding on in that abdominal space, so that it's pooling towards the lower back. And let's roll over to the side and come back out. Almost there. So moving the blankets out of the way. This last bit, move them out to here, they're really out of the way. Having a strap and coming back down to the mat. Knees bent towards us, taking our strap with the loop, the buckle facing us. You might need to widen it a little bit to get the legs through. And then tighten up as much as you can, arms extended to the side, hands in line with the shoulders, palms facing up. Jatara Parivartanasana, preparation number 2. Inhale, and exhale the knees to the right elbow. Inhale, and And exhale the torso, the abdomen, the lungs, the face to the left, away from the bent legs. Soft, smooth inhalations. Soft, smooth exhalations. And preparing to come back up to the middle. So pressing into the backs of the hands and bringing the legs back up. Now if you feel that your back body has travelled, just bring the feet to the floor, hold on to the sides of the mat and find that middle zone. And then feet back off, extend the arms, hands in line with the shoulders. Inhale. And exhale the knees to the left elbow. Inhale. And exhale the trunk, the abdomen, the organs, the lungs, the face to the right, away from those bent legs. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, pacifying exhalations. Keep the arms extended and charged. The front shoulders rolling back. And then pressing into the backs of the hands in order to help us lift back up to the middle. And exhale and release it. Taking the strap off, we're going to do Supta Padangthasanas without the strap. But if it's really hard for you to reach your feet, of course, use the strap. So it's right there. You just make a little loop and hold onto the foot, or bring the arms above the head, whatever variation you prefer. So Supta Padangthasanas first. Heels firm, charging the legs one last time. And then bending the right knee, reaching and holding between the big toe and the index toe. And straightening that leg. The left hand goes on the front of the left thigh. It's helping this thigh to roll in and to press down as we bring this leg towards us. And now lift the trunk up. Bring the forehead to the shin. And 2, and 1. Coming back down. Now we're going to lift this leg up and move it diagonally out to the side. Keep it rolling in, the heel firm. You can move your hand now and hold the left hip bone and pull it to the left, so that as we bring the leg to lateral Supta Padangthasanas, this hip is anchored and isn't going into this right energy here. Bringing that leg down, lateral Supta Padangthasanas. The legs are gripped. They look relaxed because we're lying on the floor, but they are gripping and wrapping and contracting around the bones. Keep pulling that left hip bone to the left. Find the outside edge of your right thigh. And suck the flesh, the fat, all of that area to the outside edge of the right femur bone, so that there's no space inside. It's all being sucked up to it. That's it. And 2. Good. And 1. Bringing the leg back up and lifting this left leg up and moving it so that it's facing right out of the hip. Changing hands. We're holding the inside edge of the foot now with the left hand. The right arm is extending to the side in line with the shoulder as we come to our final Supta Padangthasanas Parivrita. Bringing that leg across. Keep the left heel firm. Both front thighs ironing to the thigh bones. And with the next exhalation, roll and turn. First, the skin fibers will turn to the right, then we'll penetrate to deeper layers, moving through fat, muscle, and ending up with the organs. Visualize all of your organs twisting to the right, over and over again. And 3, and 2, and 1. Bringing the leg back up, and exhale, and releasing. Supta Padangthasanas, making sure that we are back in the middle of our mats. Right heel firm, bending the left leg, holding between the big toe and the index toe. Supta Padangthasanas 1. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. That right hand densifying the right thigh as it rolls in. The left thigh also moving, ironing towards the thigh bone as we draw the leg closer and closer. The legs are gripped. The face is relaxed, humble, just completely innocent, sensing all of this. Deeper and deeper. And now lift the back up, come towards the leg, and 3, and 2, and 1. Coming back down, move the right leg diagonally out to the side. The heel pressing down, the thigh rolling in. Put the right hand on the right hip bones, hold them there as we bring that left leg into our lateralized Supta Padangthasanas. Grip the muscles around the leg bones and travel to the outside edge of your left thigh. It's a long area. Be there, present there. And now suck the skin, the flesh, the fat, everything to the outside edge of that left femur bone. So that if you were inside, there's no more spaciousness. Everything's compact, lifting up to the outside edge. That's it. And 3, and 2, and 1. Bring the leg back up and move this right leg back in so it's coming straight out from the hip. Changing hands. The right hand is holding the inside edge of that left foot. The left arm extending to the side in line with the shoulder as we enter Parivrita Supta Padangthasanas. Establish connection with the right heel. Grip the muscles of the legs. Iron the front thigh to the thigh bone. That's it. And now with the exhale, find that twistingness. The skin fibers twisting. The muscle fibers twisting. Going through the layers until we reach the organs. Twisting the organs from the right to the left. Stretching the arm. And 3, and 2, keep turning with the exhale, twisting, and 1. Bring the leg back up, and exhale, and releasing. Almost there, rolling over to the right side of the body. Coming back up. We're going to take our blocks and come to the wall now for our last pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, and we won't need a mat, so I'm just going to roll mine up so that it's out of the way. And if your lower back is a little fragile, you'll want to have blocks for your feet too, so judging. So we're coming in, we have our staff. So if you like blocks for the feet, you're setting them up here so your feet can be on them. And then we are using the ever helpful strap one more time, tightening in to stop our legs from splaying and to keep that firmness in the lumbar but bring malleability to the thoracic and dorsal spine. Coming down. So we have several heights on the block. I'm going to go for the highest height, lifting the hips and buttocks up and placing the block right underneath the coccyx. And then interlocking our fingers behind the block and rolling those front shoulders back. And now we're going to straighten our legs, so your feet could be on a block or the heels could be on the ground like mine. And using the slidiness of the floor without the mat to push ourselves back so that the legs are straight. Roll those front thigh muscles in so that in no way are the quadriceps distorting the legs. They're not pulling the knees out to the side. The kneecaps are facing the sky. The shins, the front shins are facing the sky. And as those quadriceps roll in, press the front thighs down. Soft, smooth inhalations. Soft, pacifying exhalations. Densify the arms. The arms in this pose are like the arms of Sarvangasana. So we want to press the arms down, roll the front shoulders back, and feel the back armpit moving towards the front armpit continually. The chin coming towards the chest. The face soft. Squeezing the outer thighs in towards each other, vaulting the outer hips in towards each other. The middle buttocks pressing forward, the front thighs pressing back. The belly button delicately moving towards the lower back, the abdomen area delicately depuffing, receding. Now try to coil the middle and upper back more and more. To make malleability there, to coil them, to press those back ribs in and up without disturbing the firmness of the lumbar, without disturbing the bolting of the outer hips. And then gently bending the legs, readjusting with the block if needed, and changing the interlock of the fingers behind the block, re-rolling your shoulders backwards. And when you're ready, straightening the legs again. If it's feeling too intense, just do this other side with the legs bent, still getting that profound opening in the sternum, in the ribs, and that connection with the potential of our malleability in the thoracic spine and the dorsal spine. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. The arms densifying and pressing down. The back armpit coming to the front armpit. The front rib soft and softening. Gently bending the knees, bringing the feet closer to the buttocks again, releasing the interlock of the hands. We're going to come out of the pose by lifting the hips 3 times, and on the 3rd time, we'll move the block. So pressing into the feet, pressing into the arms, lift the hips up once, and come back down to the block. And lift the hips up twice, and come back down to the block. And on the 3rd time, keep the hips lifted, move the block with your hands, and now come down 1 vertebrae at a time, keeping the navel at the same time moving towards the lower back. Taking the strap off, bringing the right leg to Padmasana, and bringing the left knee towards us. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. The abdomen receding continually, free of all hardness. And now changing sides. So we're going to bring the left leg to Padmasana. And the right knee comes towards us. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. In each exhale, further deepening the sensations of pacification in the entire abdominal cavity. And then coming out of that, and finally, time for our Savasana. So just rolling over and coming up, and it might be nice to take a blanket for the neck and head, and use the weight of the rest of our blankets on our thighs. Everything else can come out to the side. So 1 blanket for the neck and head. With these other blankets, I'm going to put them on my front thighs. You could also roll them up and put them underneath the backs of the knees if you felt that you really needed to have the lower back connected very safely and securely to the floor. Okay, so whichever one is right for you today. The strap can be used for our eyes. Let's come into Shavasana setup. Making sure that you're lying right in the middle of the back of the skull. The sides of the neck even. The buttocks moving towards their respective heels. The anal mouth facing forward, not dropping to the earth. And then rolling each of those front shoulders back and absorbing the shoulder blade so that the shoulder blade, as it presses up, opens the breast ribs and the nipple ribs and the pranayamic gills underneath the armpit ribs. And now, having placed that, let's take our straps and just put them over the eyes. And with an exhalation, entering into Shavasana. And then gently, just lifting the hands up and resting the hands on the lower abdomen, just above the pubic bone. And now pressing the palms together in front of the sternum chest. Ending with our loving kindness meditation. Loka samastaha sukhinho bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May the universe know love. May the universe know peace. And may we help all those that we come into contact with to feel the same. Om, peace, peace, peace. And then gently releasing the hands in order to roll over to the right hand side, keeping the eyes closed. And now with your hands, you can just move the strap off the eyes. And when the eyelids feel ready to open, letting them flicker gently open. Taking in that which is seen right in front of you. And that which is also seen out of the sides of the eyes. And then using the hands to push ourselves back out. And welcome back. Our practice is complete. So I hope that as you emerge from this experience, that sense of integrity and that ability to step back, to stay with the even rhythm of breath through that evenness, watching everything else, is going to stay with you and help ripple in beautiful ways, both in your daily life, to your loved ones around you, to everyone in your vicinity, and to yourself. Namaste. Look forward to practicing again together soon. Take good care.